What's up, Heat Ratio? Welcome back to where we all started, the beginning. That's fantasy golf. That's what we did last year, and we're bringing it back again. My partner in crime tonight, Mark Drumheller, couldn't make it, but he'll be back for many more shows this season as we can't wait to kick off what it is, the Twilight Rate Golf Show. That's right, Twilight Rates when I play. It's also when we're like late in the week here, getting ready, finalize and sharpen our pencils. Makes a lot of sense. As we go forward here, we'll be every Wednesday night breaking down the tournament to come. And this week, it's the Sentry Tournament of Champions out in Maui, one of the great islands. I was there from a honeymoon many moons ago, but hey man, golf is always special when it's played out in Hawaii. So let's crack one open and let's start it up. They're playing at the Plantation course. Really interesting course. It's a par 73. A lot of par 73s like to mix in an extra par 5, but instead what this course does is give you one less par 3. Means open up the scoring chances a little bit more on the par 4s and 5s. Takes out one of those tougher scoring holes, which are typically par 3s, and you usually have some good scores. Ranging normally in the mid-20 unders win this tournament. Recently, I think Harris English shot 24 last year. We had an aberration back in 20 when Justin Thomas only shot 14 under. But then you go back years past that, speed 25, and you start to see normally you're going to see the winner come in somewhat below that 20-22 range, especially with wins. The course's only defense right now are wins and fast greens, and the winds aren't expected to be terrible. They're expected to be mild. They'll play some factor, but I do expect some good scoring this weekend. That means good iron play and a few other things. This course has 93 bunkers, no water hazards, can get you in trouble in some other areas, but it's really, hit it out there, hit it long, and stick the greens. Greens are big. Bermuda grass, they run them fast. Need to really get close here because there is a high 3-putt percentage at this course compared to some of the average PGA courses during the year. All right, said a lot so far. So let's look at some key stats I've been looking at as we get into the Sentry Tournament of Champions. All right, I'm going to pour some out real fast. Check a comment we have up on the screen here. All right, Cease, my man. What's up, buddy? I'm hoping you have a great night. I know you're big on my man Phil, right? And Phil has made it back to the Tournament of Champions for the first time in a long time. And quite honest with you, I think he can play a little bit this week and might have some value in some of your lineups down the road here. So as we look at some of the key stats, I'm really looking at strokes gained approach. Strokes gained approach has been one of the higher average aggregates of the winners over the past 5 years. So I'm looking at guys that really do have control of their iron game. Hard to tell when you come in early in the season, right? A lot of these guys have taken the month of December off, and some guys have even taken longer off. So you really got to read some of the stuff out there that you get on Twitter and some other places to see how guys have been hitting at the range, how they're feeling with their clubs. And then you can look at a little bit at how they were trending coming into this week. Secondly, I do like strokes gained putting. It is one that also has a lot of variance from week to week. But this week, with the bigger greens, you need to be 3-putt avoidance. You need to be able to ensure that you're converting when you do get onto the greens in close proximity. So I like strokes gained putting, and I also like strokes gained scoring on the par 5s. You got 4 of them here. They're very gettable, each one of them, especially with the length these players have today. So those 3 areas, if they can score on the 5s, really control themselves on the 4s and 3s, I think you got a guy. Look at some of those guys that can do those things. We'll really have a good chance this week. So the first one, I know everybody loves Rombo. And Rombo, you should love. The guy's tremendous, and he's been tremendous at this course playing here. But the guy I'm really eyeing up on is Justin Thomas. I like Justin Thomas. He did, as we mentioned very earlier, he did win back in 2020. He's a guy that has really put, some emphasis on his physicality, or his physique, I should say, in the offseason. He's a guy that's really focused on being a little bit more flexible and a little stronger as well. He's a guy that has seen the effect of Bryson DeChambeau. And I think he's been quiet over the offseason, really trying to, work on those tools. He was already a guy that was pretty long off the tee anyway, but to be able to add that extra distance and really durability, I think that's what Justin Thomas is looking for. He's looking for a long golf season here. He's one that does have some, minor tweaks that come up during the season. I think Justin Thomas is focused, rearing, ready to go. And we saw that happen back in 2020. He came in as the second to last group to tee off 3 strokes off the lead and was able to close out with victory. Last year, he finished third here at the course in Maui at the Plantation course. He's a horse for the course. He also won in 2017 here. He knows his way around, and I really like his odds this week. You're looking at a guy, even in the betting circles, he's about the 3rd favorite overall. So you're getting some good value from a JT, a really quality golfer this week, where you see his prices somewhere in the 12-1 range. I think it's great value on Justin Thomas, who I expect to be one of the contenders for golfer of the year this year. Okay, 8-1. I'm sorry. So Justin Thomas, great value. I still think at 8-1, especially in a field of only 39. He's going to be in it until the final day. So who do I like after that? The next one up for me, Viktor Hovland. I think you've heard of him. I think you've seen him. Another guy that kind of is saying he's working on those, the muscles. He's more joked around that he's just wearing smaller shirts. But Viktor Hovland has been playing some fantastic golf as of late. He's won twice around the world in the last 2 months. He's on a hot streak. We haven't seen him here much. He's pretty new to the course out here. It's his, he finished 31st last year. It was his first event here because he's not a normal winner on the tour. But now he's starting to get in that groove. I think you're starting to see this guy really shine this year. This guy could be, I project him to win a major this year. The guy's special. The only thing stopping Viktor Hovland is Viktor Hovland. I think we've seen his infamous 8s that he throws up on some holes when he's winning some of those or leading in some of those better tournaments. If we can get Viktor Hovland's brain to just kind of settle at times, sort of like Rahm has had to do, right? I really think you could see sky's the limit for Viktor Hovland. Viktor Hovland also has a good number in DraftKings. He's sitting a little further down. He's the 12-1 I was looking at, and I think you can get some good value on Viktor Hovland this week. So that's JT Hovland. I hope both can fit them in your DFS lineups. Adam, I like Spieth a lot too. I ran some numbers on Spieth. The only thing stopping me from Spieth right now is I need to see it again. And for me, Spieth had a tremendous year last year. I mean, we were spiking him at so many times and getting great value and winning some tournaments with him. He was probably, to me, the story of the PGA Tour last year. And if you run his numbers, I run a couple different websites. He has run 2nd favorite in some of my projections. 2nd. So I do like what you're getting at. I just need a little bit more from Spieth. I want to trust him more. I want to run my model and love that number 2 value. And, I mean, he's a guy you can sit here and bet right now at 18-1. I'll probably throw a little piece on him just because my numbers are telling me to. So I like your pick. Definitely stick with Spieth there. My third one is Daniel Berger. I'm just a Daniel Berger guy, and he's a guy that really fits this profile. He's a great ball striker, very accurate, strokes gained approach is one of the categories that he is excellent at. And believe it or not, he's a tremendous putter. So those 2 areas that I really looked at and honed in on, Berger fit those. And for Berger, he has played well here too. He had a 10th last year in 2021. That was his debut. And I think this is a guy, another one that has a chance to be really special this year on the PGA Tour. He had a really good period last year when he was winning tournaments and even a top 5 projected favorite in some of the majors. Daniel Berger has game, and I think he's going to show it and show it early. So grab him early, get him in another good value here. Berger, I think, you know how I like to do. I like to give you one solid, one middle, one lower tier. Berger's my lower tier at 20-1. Now, I look a little further here into some DFS plays. You've already known what I want to mix in with those 3 and what else you can buy in. A couple of the lower ranked guys, if you can buy in on your DFS, and I know you will be, especially if you're paying up, look at a guy like Lucas Herbert. You get him at 6,100 on DraftKings. Here's a guy, he's started to really develop into a winner, around the world as well. He's a guy that can play wind. He's obviously a guy that's been known to hit the ball long. I think at 6,100 out of those guys, I trust him probably the most. I'm not really ready for the Rooster yet. I know the Rooster had a good finish to the end of last year. He's another 6,100 guy. Cagely, not ready. But Lucas Herbert, I'm really impressed with it. I think buying him at that value is really good. Another one I had my eye on as well, and it's just a guy that he plays well on Hawaii, and he's won here before. He's not a guy that's going to show up on your length charts, but Kevin Kisner can roll the ball, and Kevin Kisner likes a little challenge. You know what Kevin Kisner also likes? He likes himself some Georgia Bulldogs, and they're in the national championship game come Monday night. I think Kevin Kisner is going to be out there making some bets with his boy Justin Thomas, as they did last year when they had to swap Bama and Georgia jerseys out in the Phoenix Open. I think you're going to see some it's funny how your teams can inspire you to play even a little better. He likes to talk that trash. He likes to walk that walk. He's got a whole weekend to do it before his Bulldogs play on Monday night. I think it's going to give Kisner a little fired up. You're getting him at 6,000. I think Kisner is a potential top 10 finisher at this course. So that pretty much wraps it up for my first week here on the Twilight Rate Golf Show. We'll talk every week, like I said earlier. I'm definitely going to have Mark back in here. I'm going to have some other guests who really like to drive golf home. Cease, I left it up there. Definitely like your Spieth and Mickelson picks. Rahm's never a bad choice as well. I would mix him in some of your DFS lineups. Remember, this is a no-cut week. So really, to win this week, you are going to have to pick the winner, and most of your players are going to have to come in top 10 to top 12 range with only 39 players in the field. So pick wisely. You're going to have to get some value at the bottom, and you're going to have to nail the ones at the top. But have fun. Golf is back. We got a weekend of golf. Football might be okay this weekend. Not a lot of drama as we wanted, but we got golf. And until next week, we'll talk to you again. I'm Dave Gleckner for Heat Ratio Sports. I'm out.